as I've been doing these vlogs for the last couple of weeks, I'm definitely presenting a very happy, positive, smiling, and encouraging personality, and I'm totally that. Like, as you can tell, I get really passionate, I get amped up, I'm so excited about so many different things just in life, the opportunities that are presented, all the ways in which my business is doing well, and my wife and 2 kids are doing well, and my friends and extended family. Like, it's all awesome. And yet, it's not always the way life is. Life is a lot of struggle and hurt and heartache. We live in a society right now that is dealing with a lot of pain, with a lot of suffering, struggling, fear, loss of job, of life. There's just so many different things going on. And I think oftentimes the reaction to that is, and it's a natural one, but it's to fight through it, to just put that past you, to just smash that down and to move on. But I don't think that's reality. As a matter of fact, I know that's not reality, because I know that every single time that I've gone through hurt, when my parents got divorced, when I was struggling in my own marriage, when my family was financially devastated back in 2013 and we lost almost everything, it wasn't easy to just smash it down and move on. As a matter of fact, I tried. And I learned much later in life that that's just not the way things work.
You want authenticity? This is authenticity.
I was actually just listening to something before I sat down to record this right now. And this guy talked about just fighting through it. Look into 2030, 2040, 2050, continue on the train that you're on towards the success that you want out of life. And I remember back to a moment when I heard that. October 1st, 2017, you've heard me speak that date before. And I remember that painful experience of losing a friend, of nearly losing my wife. And in love, there were people around me that were trying to tell me just to get through it. They were trying to tell me just to push through, just to fight through. It was gonna be okay. And I know that was true. I know it was true that things were gonna be okay, that things were gonna get better. But that wasn't necessarily what I needed to hear right then. What I needed to hear right then is that even though I couldn't make sense of it all, that there was sense to be made of it all. You know, interestingly enough, a couple of months after our event in Las Vegas, we decided we were gonna get tribute tattoos. We didn't know what we were gonna get. We wanted it to be representative of the 7 people that were in Vegas that night together among the 25,000 that were there. We wanted it to be representative of the event itself. We wanted it to remind us of our friend Nicole, who we lost. And so my wife, who is not an artist by any stretch of the imagination, she sketched something on a napkin. And it turned into just this very interesting image, which is representative of the event, the date, the 7 of us that were there, Nicole's initials, this heart just meaning love. And then there was these arrows. I think it was either shortly before or right after we got those tattoos. I was reading my Bible and I was reading through the book of Job. And for anybody that's ever read the Bible or even just knows the story of Job, Job is one of just the most tragic events in all of the Bible. Job loses everything. He literally loses his wife, his kids, his house, every possession. He was a happy, wealthy, successful individual, and it all went away. Every single bit of it was taken away from him. He lost it all. The initial response from his friends is one of encouragement. They're trying to be there to console him, to support him. Then they go on to start reminding him that God's in control. But as they do, they're kind of telling him that it was his fault, like that there must have been something wrong, and he's really struggling with that. And then there's this really interesting passage in Job that stood out to me. And there was no coincidence in me reading this, but it says this. Job responds to his friends, and he says, "For the arrows of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me." That stood out to me for so many reasons. One was, I had recently had a tattoo put on me with these arrows. And this tattoo represents one of the most painful times of my life and one of the greatest losses in my life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like it was just devastating. But beyond that, it was something that really stood out to me. Now, Job was speaking that in kind of anger towards God, like, you did this to me. But the more that I resolved that, the more that I realized that it was God. And for me, I believe that God intends that everything that happens in my life ultimately is for good. Even an event as devastating as this. And so on to today. In dealing with pain and suffering, I think one of the most important things that we need to hear is not that it's going to be okay, or you just got to squash it and get through it. But I think one of the things that I know I need to hear and be reminded of when I struggle, and I would share with you, is it doesn't have to feel good. It's not awesome to lose, to hurt, to experience pain, struggle, suffering. But it's good to know that there's purpose in it. That from that experience, we will learn. We will grow. We will move forward. But as we move forward, we shouldn't do so forgetting or putting past us what has happened, but instead using that for good, using that to contribute to our own growth, to our own life, and to those around us. Very similarly to me sharing this story with you. I would do anything I can to go back and erase October 1st, 2017 from history, selfishly, but also for everybody that was affected. And at the same time, I'm thankful, not for what happened, but I'm thankful that because of what happened, I've learned, I've grown. I know I've become a better person, and I'm 100% confident that I am contributing to people in ways that I never would have had that would have never happened.